Hi. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. This is Carol Matebula saying hello, 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 hello. As I have promised, every day I'll be sharing my thoughts as I wake up. And, I don't plan this discussion ahead, but I have seen some of you guys are following and saying some wonderful things. Thank you so much. Now, today the subject is finding your identity in this world. Very interesting subject, isn't it? Because we forget that our identity, it is something so important. It's something that really, it's kind of our mirror. It's the mirror of our world. It's a canvas of our world that is given to us. But most of us, we struggle about this identity. What does it mean, finding your identity? For me, finding my identity came from different angles of my life. As I always tell you guys, that when you are born from a system where you are not guided very well by those that you came from, which I don't blame them, but I think parenting, it's such a, how do you say it? It's such a challenging thing to be a parent. And being a parent requires you to be very stable and to be very centered in your being, so that you can be able to guide. And I was not given that privilege of being guided, because my mom and dad, I think, when they had me and they went into this universe of parenting, nobody guided them. So our identity, we lose it from that point. Because if our parents don't know how to guide themselves, how are we going to guide ourselves in this world? So we then go through this roller coaster of self-discovery. And in this self-discovery, we start looking at ourselves and finding faults more into our appearance, into clothes we wear. We body shame ourselves. We minimize we minimize ourselves in terms of, as well, for men who are coming in our lives. We do not go for the best. We settle because we do not understand our identity. So I think as a woman or man out there, but I'm gonna probably emphasize on women, the best thing for a woman to know herself is to understand your identity. And your identity, it's not only about your looks. Your identity, it's about your values. It's about your standard of living. It's about food you eat. It's about honoring your voice. You find that when you don't have a self-identity, you are a follower. You follow everyone. When people say 10 left, you 10, because you don't understand your identity. Your identity, it's what I call a governor. Remember the last time we spoke about your shadow self versus your governor, and your governor versus your skeleton. And then your skeleton protects your velvetness, which is your skin and your tissue, velvet, muscles, your blood, your organs. If you are not aware of your shadow, you are not aware of your governor. If you're not aware of your governor, you're not aware of your skeleton. If you're not aware of your skeleton, then you find faults into your identity of your silkness, which is your skin. So you see, identity, it's something that we need to go a little bit deeper into. This morning, I thought to myself, what subject do I bring? And I realized that, every day, you guys, I try to just really share my view in this world, because I am a view, isn't it? I say to people that sometimes we take ourselves for granted, not realizing that one day we will perish. So your canvas, it's something that people need to see the masterpiece every day of it. So this is me sharing my masterpiece in you and saying to you guys that it is important to verbalize who you are. What are your beliefs? So this is me sharing my identity, finding my identity in this world through my voice, finding my identity in this world by sharing who I am and how I navigate this world. So what do I do in terms of identifying myself? I do not compromise. And I'm aware of my faults. I'm aware of things I don't know in this world. And I don't blame myself for lots of things that I don't know in this world, because knowledge as well, it's where identity, it's scrutinized. You know, this knowledge, this education that they talk about, you guys, that I say, bear with me, I just have to do something. So sorry. 1 second. I just have to put on another light. You guys, this is a free, there we go. Yeah. So where was I? I was saying that as well, education, it's one of the system that it's used to scrutinize your identity, to make you feel as if your identity, it's not good enough because you do not acquire this knowledge. You do not acquire this knowledge, and the knowledge that they want you to acquire, some of these judgmental people, it's the knowledge that they know. Forgetting that you've got a knowledge that you know, that it's richer. The fact that you didn't enter to the world of university, the fact that you didn't go into the so-called concentration camps, I call them, because of they are only designed to look only from this small narrow road, that only that narrowness, that's the only way to go. So when you are well identified of who you are, and you really understand your core foundation, nobody can tamper with your identity. So identity comes in so many ways. So I know that there's lots of things that I'm aware of. Like, for example, being in health and well-being, being one of the passionate soul in this world, in how I have dedicated my time, how I had volunteered fully with my spirit and saying, this is what I'm taking. I'm taking this subject, health and well-being and mindfulness. This was a clearly decision of identity, being identified by. But before I even went to the world, for the world to identify me with that, I identified myself as a healthy human being. I identified my lifestyle as a free dust zone where everything will be clear, even though sometimes I struggle with this orderness, because as I said, it was not given to me. I had to put bits and pieces out there to create a certain lifestyle that was going to make it easier for me. I did that because I had found my identity in this world. I thought, this is how I want Carol to be. Even though Carol was not introduced into that, I'm going to do whatever in my power to create that identity around me so that I can classify myself as that. And to my surprise, the world started classifying me as that. Isn't that amazing? Whatever that you decide you're going to be, the world agree with you. If you decide that you are not educated enough, you're worth nothing in this world. The world is going to treat you that way. If you think, you know what, I don't think I'm such a beautiful woman in this world, and I can just, if someone takes me and say they love me, and I'll say, oh, thank God, at least they've chosen me. Those people, they're gonna treat you like that. So self-identity for me, it is treasuring what that identity is. Be clear about it. Be clear about what is your identity. So that's why this wedding today, finding your identity in this world, it's so important, because I speak, I think I'm one of those lucky people, actually, as I say, when you come from a family that it's not really secured towards understanding how this ball game works. Because also to really come back and say, I'm not blaming parents out there. I'm not blaming them, but we're living in a bubble that it's in control. The air is in control. And the air, it's like you're swimming, You know how you see when you stand and watch the ocean, how it bubbles as if it's boiling. I say the earth is a boiling how do you say it? It's a boiling land. Everything boils. If you go into the river, it's always so. Even the air boils. You know what I'm trying to say, isn't it? Even the air that we're living in, it boils. There's always turbulence. You know, if you are on an airplane, the airplane can never go smooth. If you're in a car, the car never goes smooth. It has to go through, it has to break through the lines of air. So imagine how small you are. Imagine how tiny little thing you are, that you have to always go through this boiling energy that we call earth. And that boiling energy, it requires your feet to be grounded to the earth. That's why we've got air and we've got the earth. The earth is to hold your pillar as strong as possible. The earth is your foundation. But if your mind, your thoughts, your understanding about yourself, it's in the boiling stage where you do not really value what you see, you do not appreciate your identity, you haven't defined it, your identity very clear, so you get swallowed by the boiling energy that we call earth. Gravity, it's number one friend, and it's a number one enemy. If you are not with yourself and you do not understand who you are, gravity would swallow you. So you would start looking at yourself and think, you know what, I have to maybe do something with my eyes. I have to go pump up something there, because then gravity has taken over. Gravity shows you what you want, what it wants you to see. So it's important to really, firstly, have a relationship with your eyes. For me, that's my definition of my identity. Have a relationship with your eyes. Guide your eyes, you know. Tell your eyes what do you want to see them presenting to you on a daily. Have a discussion with your ears, whereby your ears will decide what voices come in and how are they bringing that message to you. So when you discuss with your ears has to know my master, which is this shadow self, versus the governor. They have selected some certain things that they want us to keep in, and they've selected things that we need to reject and stuff out of our space. You know, when you hear people talk about what do you call that again? Your aura. Lots of people talk about that, and I love the idea of aura. Even though I'm not so knowledgeable about it, but the fact that before people touch you, they have to go through so much energies of you before they get to you. So you are protected. There is a layer that is connected with the air. There's a layer that is connected with your DNA, where you come from, with your realms of the past living, because of you are representative of the past living. Those who have lived before, they are attached with you some one way or the other, because you are the representative of your past life, of your grandmoms, of your grandpas, of you know, you are not just the one who came in today and were classified Carol. I come from a secret world where I came from before I even entered the belly of my mom. So once you know that, you know who you are, and nobody in this world can minimize you. So for me, that's my identity. My identity is knowing that there is something miraculous about me. So there's something miraculous about you. So the education of the world, that the person, you have doctors who are worshipped because of the work they do. And I say bravo to them. You have a man who fixes the toilets, who fixes our home to make sure that our home runs smoothly without any bacteria attacking us. I say bravo to that man. He has a very important work, because he keeps us healthy before we even go to the doctor. But in alignment of society, we measure people by what we think the power of education is. And I wonder, those who measure others because of they have acquired a certain knowledge which suits them, that's what they chose. Are they really aware of identity, of their self-identity? Or are they designing themselves in this world to steal other people's strength and power to make other people not to value their identity so that they can live well using your energy. Remember the last time, I think it was 2 days ago, when I say, if somebody say to you, you are nobody, you've got to be careful of that, because that's actually a vampire standing next to you. If somebody keep on singing a song, you are nobody, you are nothing, I made you, I can make you, without me, you will be nobody in this world. That is a ritual of vampirism, because that person at that moment steals your identity, steals your body, steals everything, and then they run with it. You become their taxi while you are hypnotized, left in a room with no sense of self. And they use that. So you got to be careful of what people say, because when we say for the right reason. The mind is a very powerful force. The mind knows what it wants, especially the minds of the selfishness. Have you ever dated a man or date a woman? And then after you have dated them, firstly, they come into your life. They love you for who you are. They are fascinated by things you say. But then suddenly their thoughts of self not knowing start creeping in, and they start wanting to change your identity. And they think that by them wanting to change your identity, it's them showcasing how much they love you. But they forget to take a moment and say, hey, there is that voice of mine that it's lost. And suddenly it wants to steal this guy, or it wants to steal this woman away from her. By me start saying to the man or to the woman, this is how you have to do things, because of I can only love you by you doing what I call my identity. You see that? So finding your identity in this world is very, very important, you guys. It's one of the things that I use to protect myself. Like, for example, at this present moment, I'm going through something kind of sad in a personal way. It's something a little bit small, but I'm just going to tell you how you get scrutinized by those who do not know themselves. For example, you have a beautiful thing next to you and you give it to someone that you classify as a friend, and suddenly they hold that thing away from you so that they feel like they've got power over you. And once you start fighting to get back what people have taken from you, they think they've got you. And you know what I normally say? This is going to sound really crazy, but that's the law of how I protect myself. It does not matter how much the material worth. If somebody decides to take what belongs to me and that person does not bring it, you know what I do? I detach. Firstly, I detach from the spirit. I accept. From the moment I realize that, I accept with my soul that we have lost that. And even if we don't get it, Carol, it's okay. Even though I go through the stage of mourning, but I know that we've got vampires in this world, and vampires comes in different ways, in different shapes, in different volumes, and etc. So your job as you need to clearly identify yourself. Self-identity, it's not only about the looks, dear sweetie people. Self-identity goes a long way. Self-identity goes your presence. When you enter into a space and people feel your presence, don't collapse. Own your presence, because your presence is your governor. I say the secrecy of our world, it's knowing that a governor will go into doors, even if these doors are built out of the most powerful steel. Your governor can break every door, no matter how that door seems. Your governor has a power to do that. But your governor has to understand your shadow. Your shadow, and then your governor, and then everything. Because your shadow, it's a secret world. Your shadow, it's something that we are born with. Even, when we are young, have you seen the kids when they become aware? trying to run away from their shadow. The moment they notice the shadow, they become afraid of it. Because then at that moment, we have to realize the power of the shadow. Because the fact that the kids are normally very afraid of the shadow, it has a deeper meaning. Kids, they are our language of where we come from. Kids remind us of the world that we tend to forget as we becoming matured and adults. So it is very important to value your shadow. And this shadow, for me, it is the most powerful precedent I have in this world. Yes, there are challenges in this world. Yes, you have to keep alive in this world. Yet you have to celebrate yourself. Yet you have to know that I am the owner of my earth. I will never be able to save the world if I wasn't there. As I'm talking to you right now, there might be somebody who's thinking about me in South Africa, and I'm not even aware of it. There might be people somewhere in their home talking about Carol at this present moment who have met me, and I don't know about it. So the fact that they can say Carol Matebula, which is there's so many Carol Matebulas, but they can only be one for those that I have met their eyes with. So you play a very important part. Now, once you're aware of how much important part you play in this world, then you're aware of your willpower. And your willpower comes from your self-identity, your self-identification. That's why today we're living in a world of profile. Isn't that amazing? It's all about your profile. And with your profile, they can do massive damages. With your profile, you can be damaged for life. Somebody can steal your profile and marry you without even you being aware of it. Someone can steal your profile and go and use your profile around the world so that they can open doors. So are you aware how powerful we are? So I'm aware of these things. I'm aware of, firstly, Carol Matebula being the essence of knowing before the knowing of education. Because the fact that I know that I am there and I came in this world for a reason, I can never be shaken by anything. And it's not even the matter of arrogancy. It's a matter of protecting the life force that runs within me. You know, my cells, my blood, my everything. That's my life force. That's the education that no one knows. How does my inner system recleanses itself to keep me healthy, to keep me looking young, to keep me beautiful, to keep me focused, and to keep me searching for calmness so that I can live in the world of serenity, tranquility, and knowingness. My system does that. It even does that before I can even command it. Before I even command my system, my spirit, my shadow. Normally, my shadow and my spirit command itself. It tells me where to go and how to go and how to go about. And it's a secret language within myself that I'm not even aware of. That I wake up in the morning, I have no clue what I'm going to say. And then suddenly, I hear a deeper whisperation. And this whisperation, that's why I say we are closer to God. We are closer to something bigger than ourselves. Every day when you wake up, your answers of where you're going has nothing to do with you, my brother or my sister. Has something to do with that realm of spirituality, of the essence of what it is in this world that makes us to be who we are. And once you can identify with that and identify with, sometimes there will be struggles in your life. Sometimes you wouldn't know where to go. Sometimes it will be difficult for you to just stand there and say, you know what, this is me. We all go through that. But I think the thing that can make you to be able to obtain knowingly, it's surrendering to those moments. And when you surrender to the high force of the universe, which is what has created this earth to be what it is. So some of us, we have no beliefs. We have no belief system. We believe that we came here with our knowledge and we are. And I said, we are not. Don't fool yourself by thinking that only you know where you're going and you know how you're getting there. We need to surrender to something that we don't know. Some people call it God. Some people call it Belingani. It has different names. This beautiful guardian of our life. This beautiful force that brought us here to teach us something. Life is all about learning. So for me, my identity is that when you meet me, try to define me. Remember, your definition might not work that much because how I define myself. Unless if you come with melodies of wisdom, if you come with melodies that's going to take me from point A to point B, and you brighten my light of confusion where I was kind of lost, and you bring light and I can go to the second letter, oh, then you are definitely appreciated and highly respected because of you bring a certain knowledge that I need. So when you see Carol Matebula and you want to identify her, firstly, ask yourself, how clearly identified are you? What it is of yourself that you value? Because you have to remember, if you disvalue yourself, you're gonna do your best to disvalue me. If you don't know your identity, you're gonna be one of those vampires that are trying to suck in people into the world of not knowing. So today, this is the story. The story is that finding your identity in this world. And it's very, very, very important. Do not be marked by anyone. And I love you guys. Today, I'm going to make our discussion not so long, as of course, I've got lots of things to do. And I hope to see you tomorrow. Tomorrow, we'll be back again at 8 o'clock. So sorry, I have a visitor in the house today. Sister Carol, I have mentioned that we're going to be having a discussion with her, but she's not feeling well today, and I hope next time we will see her. And I'm sorry again for being late. Normally these YouTubes of mine, they are done every day at 8 o'clock London time, as I reside in UK. And if you want to say something to me, please do not hesitate to contact us at www.vunkuwa.co.uk, and you can just leave me a note in there, and I'll definitely communicate with you. So once again, our connection of link is www, which is V for Victor, U for uniform, N for Nancy, K for King, U for uniform, W for woman, A for apple, .co.uk. So embrace your identity. It does not matter where you come from. It does not matter what your circumstances seems. It's just circumstances. Circumstances are nothing to the foundation of life, miraculousness of life. You are not a circumstance, but you are the miraculousness of life. Embrace your identity and write down a few things. Have a list in your home that identifies you. And in that list, if you have 10 things that you want to put down as your identity, now number them by points. Number them from top 10 to top 9 to top 8 to top 7 to top 6 to top 5, top 4, top 3, top 2, top 1, top 0. Number them. And when I say number them, it could be about what you eat. If what you eat, it's very important. You put it on top 10. If your career, it's very important. You put your career as top 10, and then you put food as top 2. If your kids are your fundamental, how do you say? If your kids are your number one priority, put your kids. And then after you put your kids, put things in there that are very important for you as a mother or as a father around these kids. Once again, identity, top 10 to top 0. And thank you so much. This was Carol Matebula saying, finding your identity in this world and how important it is. I thank you and goodbye. Ciao for now. Oh, that was nice.